In the beginning, in the beginning, this is how the story goes. Eve came under the tree, the apple tree, and the snake basically told her, the Satan through the snake actually, told her that, oh, God knows that when you bite this apple, you will become gods. Your eyes will be opened and you will become gods. I already spoke about this. So Eve, who was as perfect as Adam actually, she thought to herself, what? Life is eternal. There is no death. What do you mean become God? But, as it says in the story, she hesitates and she sees it's good for the experience. The experience. And so she bit the apple. But I would like to tell you something else. You can always go to the Genesis and read the story, but read it very carefully. The cause of many problems, diseases, ignorance, everything that's been bothering us for thousands of years, it's in the words. Yes, the words. So today, I'm going to explain something to you. What does it mean? Oh, God knows that your eyes will be open. What do you mean they were closed until today? Or opened? My eyes will be opened to what? At what? At where? Whom? Where? This is the Garden of Eden. Everything is perfect. Everything is divine. Everything is the way God said it is. And how is it? It's by the first commandment. The first commandment when the earth was created was this one. Let there be light. So there was light, of course. There still is light today. But what do you people do? You don't see it. Ah, your eyes have opened. To where? To another realm. To another, I don't know what, like a reality. Although it's not the reality, it's an illusion. It's an illusion. Opened, my eyes will be opened to, I don't know what, where? To the new experience. Earth was already perfect. Earth was the light, made of the Word and the light, of course. And Adam and Eve were made of light. They were perfect too. Eve knew very, very well that God is inside of me and everywhere around me. In Eden, in just about everywhere. What do you mean? My eyes will be opened. You will become gods. How can I become something? I can only become something. Something what? Something that the snake told her to be, not what God told her to be. God is inside of her, and when you pay attention a little bit, when Genesis was written, we don't know anything before that conversation in the Garden of Eden. We don't know. We don't know anything. There was no war. There was no, I don't know, nothing. Nothing was happening. Why? Because they just lived a life. They lived. Everything else after the apple was bitten was written. It was almost like a movie. Every man, every woman that you see, that you read about over there, has his or her own story. Why? Because the lie wasn't so entwined into the life or the light that it was unbelievable. It was very interesting, wasn't it? It was very interesting to know that Cain killed Abel. Cain killed Abel, however you want to call them in your language. Why? It is very often forgotten that Eve had a third son, Shet. But you see, the Garden of Eden where they lived, they still lived over there. They still lived at the same place. They were just two different people living in, well, the same place, but in a different kind of way. And the one important thing that I wanted to tell you today about this story is this one. Well, first of all, that was the first lie that somebody ever said since, well, the creation, the beginning, actually. That's the first thing. And the second, how do I explain this so that you could all understand me? But you will. I know that you will. What the snake said, actually what the Satan through the snake said to Eve, had a meaning. Oh, it's not the thing that they just teach you in school, or somebody just tells you, oh, it's a story, who cares? It's not just a story, you know. It has a very, very profound meaning. And the meaning is this one. Basically, he told them that God doesn't love them. He told her first that God doesn't love her. He doesn't love her. or them, both of them, as you like. And of course she knew this is not true. But the imposter, Satan is the imposter. He just fell to earth. Probably there was nowhere else to fall. I don't know. They both knew it's not true. But the experience, he actually told her, God doesn't love you. That's the truth. That's the only thing that's been bothering people since then. Everybody who was born, everybody, male, female, Siamese twins, sick, poor, rich, everybody. That's the root of the problem. That's the first lie that's been told. Not your eyes will be open, blah, blah, blah. Open to whom? To what? And that's the root of all the problems. The absence of love. You go and ask anybody who is more spiritual, more, how do I say, into all these spiritual things. They will tell you it's the truth. It's not love. It is love. Love is cruel. It is love's fault for something. No, it's not. It's the absence of love that came from the liar on earth. You believed in it. Not completely, never ever completely, but you transferred it to your children and grandchildren and everybody and everyone, the whole world. And this is the root of all the illnesses, sicknesses, diseases in this world. This is the very important message that I wanted to tell you. He created us out of love. And when you are in the machine, in the wheel, like a hamster. Hamster has a wheel and he is running and running, and how do you get off? When do you get off? In 50,000 years? That is the lie. That he created you, but he doesn't love you. Why did he create you then? He didn't create his servants, warriors, idiots, killers. I'll tell you what to do. You don't have a brain. By whose standards, I wonder? All those people with near-death experiences, they tell almost the same stories, beautiful stories, but the same stories. This is how the Garden of Eden was here on earth. It still is. It still is. But the change of your awareness is more important than anything. Yes, you who are listening to this, looking at this, The only truth that I will tell you right now is that there is no absence of love. There is the wrong belief of your parents, grandparents, teachers, whatever in school, the people you were surrounded with. That's the absence of love, where it came from the wrong beliefs of other people. Of course, they do many things with good intentions. So did my mom, for example. And she created me the biggest shit in my life. Wouldn't you all agree? You've all been there. Somebody does something with good intentions and he makes you the biggest shit in your life that you could ever imagine. Why? Because they don't know what is good for you. They know what is good for them. It is always myself I am talking about, myself that I am thinking about. So it must be for the other person the same. This is why we have different mentalities. Of course, we are all unique. We are all the same, but we are all unique. We are all different. I don't like tomatoes and olives, but you probably do. But as I said, it's not the absence of love. It is an illusion. Everybody has been given the same. Everybody has been given that how can I say, that piece of paradise. It is here, there, everywhere. And just as I said, she knew, and Adam knew also, God is inside of me and everywhere around me. They both knew that. It's the experience. And I already made one very short video, where I actually wrote how the evil behaves actually. And one of the most important things that the evil does, evil, Satan, I don't know how else to call it. You call it evil, illusion, whatever. The most important characteristic is that they love to project, of course, the evil has no God within itself. So the evil loves to project itself onto you, onto somebody else. So the lie, how the lie works, I'll tell you how the lie works. If it goes, it goes. And if the first one goes, if you say yes to the first one, there will be a second one, a third one, an endless one, until you run away or kill each other or do something very stupid. The Bible is full of that. If the first one goes, this is the goal that the lie wants to achieve. That's something very important that I wanted to share with you today. Download and share this video to the very unhappy people, to those who are trying to find their own purpose in life. It's not true that a person doesn't have a purpose, but the lie told you something through your ancestors, your parents, everybody that you know, your school, everyone. The lie told you that you need a purpose that it will give to you. Why? Because the evil wants you to do that and that and that. The evil wants you to be something that you don't really like or you don't care about. Because the evil must have a purpose on this planet Earth. But you were born with it. But you weren't as cherished as the value that you really truly are from the very beginning. Of course, when you were a baby, you didn't know how to speak, you didn't even know how to piss. You had diapers. But as soon as you were a little bit older and learned how to speak and speak your own truth, you were a pest to everyone, or at least almost everyone. I'll teach you a lesson. Then the other one comes in. I'll teach you a lesson. Then the school comes in, the teachers and who knows what. I'll teach you a lesson. Everybody has to teach you a lesson without you wanting it. I'm not saying that it's not good to be uninformed or stupid or look like that, People are different. Children are different. But let's go to the beginning, to the Genesis. From that moment on, you started to punish yourselves and your children, your grandchildren and everybody else. And you haven't stopped doing that. Well, till today. Why do we have wars? Because we listen to the people who lie to us. And what did God do out of love, except creating you? He sent His only Son, the Word, that spoke through His mouth. And He didn't even spare Him of all the troubles that He went through. Why should He spare, you, your mother, your little child who is dying of cancer? Or I don't know, somebody else. Why? Cain killed Abel because Abel was merciful. Love is merciful. As those who were the first one to bite the apple, you started to experience the loss, the death in your lives. Suddenly it was love and mercifulness and the gifts, the giver of gifts. It was His fault for not giving you, or let's say the evil, its own way. And the only thing, the good, the light, the well-being knows, the only thing that it knows is how to give, is how to love, support, be merciful. That's the only thing that the light knows, that the good knows. This is why snake came to Eve, because the Holy Spirit, the great Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Spirit that, well, there is no life without it. It is feminine. And the feminine listens only to God, the Creator. Look at Mother Nature. Mother Nature just lives and gives. To everyone, everything. And it's feminine. This is why the snake came to Eve first, not to Adam. So after they bit the apple, how do men and women live together, huh? Rapists, murderers, manipulative, here, there, everywhere, in every fucking possible way. That wasn't supposed to be like that. But obviously it is for thousands of years. It is not God's fault that He did and created and gave because of love. Endless love, endless. It is huge, endless love, light, knowledge. It's unsurpassed and incomprehensible. It is not His fault. He just gave. He just had the idea of love for you, for everybody. And it took me a long time to understand one thing. Communication is important. Of course, different people do it in different ways. I've mentioned in one of my videos, maybe in two, I think, don't judge me when you hear from me, oh shit, bullshit, something like that, because you people taught me that. From my school, my neighbors, friends, families, since very early age, you taught me that. You speak like that. You expected me to, I don't know, go to school, where I heard all that again and again. So when you become perfect like God, or when you become God, then come back and criticize me, which you won't do, because even God didn't criticize me. He just told me that He loves me. He didn't hide His face, because He is the truth. And He has nothing to hide. Why? What for? I gave mine out of love, and I have nothing to be sorry for. Those who pay have and have to. This is all from me for today. And yes, I've been told, maybe 8, 9 months ago, 8 maybe, that in 100 years from now, in 100 years, people will understand every word that I've been saying in my videos. The future. The future well, they will know something. Not something, but a lot more than we do today. It's amazing how the people's egotistic and materialistic and the like a warrior's instinct rule over their brains, over their lives, over their, how do I say, offspring. And they just give it to their offspring today, tomorrow, after tomorrow, next year, next decade, next century. Only nuances are a little bit different. But the core of it is, well, it's basically the same. I know this video, this one, particularly this one, will be very important in the future. Of course, it's important right now, but it will be very important in the future. And this is all from me for today. This is it.